घटना पटीयसी माया घटना प्रतीयसी माया हरिहर विभेदमध्यखण्डे विधि हरिहर विभेदमध्यखण्डे हरिरक्षय बुधान पित्रकामम् हरविरचय बुधान पित्रकामम् रमयति हरिहर भेदभावा रमयति हरिहर भेदभावा घटित घटना पटीयसी माया घटित घटना पटीयसी माया. So not concerned with deluding the people. Maya also makes one deluded about Bhagavan. So Vidhi means the one who writes the story. Who is that? Brahmaji, Lord Brahma, Creator. Vidhi, Hari is who? Vishnu. Hara is who? Shiva. Vidhi, Hari, Hara, Bhedam. Bhedam means all kinds of divisions. Api Akhande, in this consciousness which is free of all divisions, people name it as Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. These are all consciousness along with Maya Shakti. So, but from the standpoint of the Ajnanam, the personalized Maya, how Maya is affecting oneself, what does one say? This is Brahma. I'm not going to worship him. Because in India, Brahma doesn't have any place of worship except in Rajasthan, Pushkar. There is one Brahma temple. Poor fellow had to pack up his things and move to Thailand, where he is abundantly worshipped. Every street corner, one Brahma, small Brahma they put. I was so happy when I saw that. I said, okay, now we know where you have moved to. You have moved to Thailand. And I asked somebody, why is it that every chauraha, every place, every street corner, every, what is that called? What is chauraha? Junction. Every junction will have one small shrine and then Brahmaji there. Every roundabout will have one Brahmaji there. So I said, why? And they said, the Creator will never destroy his own creation. And so no accidents will happen if he's there. And besides, he's better than our policemen. Policemen can only see he's arcade, he's here, everywhere he sees. So he will not let accidents happen. And you see, they are all Brahma Bhaktas in Thailand. But in India, he was deported. He was not having any thing. Why? Because he attracted a curse. And what was the curse? He told one lie. I will tell you the story of how he told the lie. And you will see that because it's connected to all three of them. So let us go through the next one. Who is the next one? Hari. Who is Hari? The one who said, Hari up and worship me. Hari. Hari is Vishnu. And then, what will the people say? I am a Vaishnavite. Yes, everyone is a height. Okay? Yeah. Height or an east. Okay? I am height. Vaishnavite, I only worship Vishnu. And then what else? I am a Shaivite, I only worship Shiva. That's why I have more Vibhuti stripes all over my body, more than a zebra. I have all these stripes. I am a Shaivite. I only have to worship Shiva, not your Vishnu. And the Vishnu person says, your Shiva bad. And they have their own stories. And in the Vaishnavites' understanding of Shiva, Shiva is the most gullible fellow. Buddhu hai. That's why the people who worship Shiva call him what? Bholenath. Bholenath means innocent, but that's because they love him. That's why they are calling him innocent. But in the mind of the Vaishnavites, Shiva is Buddhu, and Shiva worshippers therefore what? Double Buddhu. Why is Shiva Buddhu? See, he keeps giving boons. Ashutosh means very quickly pleased. Keeps giving boons to whom? Not you and me, to Rakshasas, to Asuras. Asura goes, Ravana went to Shiva and said, I want this. I want the eternal you, I want Atma Linga. Give yourself in the form of Linga. Satchidananda, let me know, let me have. And Shiva gave. And Vishnu had to run to the rescue because otherwise the balance in the world is. Vishnu said to Shiva, I am watching you. This is not what you should do. What have you done? Fir se gadbad kar diya. And Vishnu went dressed as a small Brahmana boy who said to Ravana, I will hold your linga, you do your sandhya vandanam, you do your deep feet, your 3 dips, and then you have to come out and pray. You please do that. No, but it must never be kept down. Otherwise, it has to go all the way to Sri Lanka because what do I want? World domination. When do I want it? Yesterday. And what is going to give me world domination? This linga of Shiva. This Shiva linga is the blessing of world domination. And I am going to do this, I am going to have this, and then, but the only condition is what? Niche nahi rakhna hai, must not be kept down. And then what did he do? The Brahmana boy said, don't worry, I'll give it. So Ravana confidently went, did one dip. Boy says, Uncle, this is too heavy. Uncle, this is too heavy. Only 2 more dips. 1 more dip he does. I think I'm keeping it. No, don't you dare. And then he kept it there itself. And we took root there in a place in Karnataka, coastal Karnataka called Gokarna. Why is it called Gokarna? Because this fellow was so upset to Ravana. Ravana tried to pull it out. And 2 pieces of stone grew in the shape of ears where he had kept it, cow's ears. Gokarna, that linga you can go and see. Gokarna in coastal Karnataka. That linga took root over there. And then what happened? Nothing happened. Ravana did not dominate the world. In fact, nobody will keep their babies named Ravana. No matter in which part of the world the Hindu is, they will not keep their boy's name as what? Ravana. Never. Infamy. Okay? And so this is why the Vishnu worshippers think this Shiva is an idiot. But then Shiva also gets into trouble himself. So one Asura is there and who says, one Asura is there and what does he want? He wants everything he touches to turn to ashes. Stupid fellow. Who wants to ask for such a boon? Yeah. Anybody you might touch to turn into vibhuti, ash. And then his name became Bhasmasura. Then and Lord Shiva said, yes, you have worshipped me on one leg for so many years. You have done Ghora Tapas, Tathastu, Shiva says. And then This fellow says, I want to test the moon on you to make sure if it works or not. And he runs, Shiva runs, he runs. All through the three lokas, Shiva is running ahead and Mr. Bhaspasura running behind. Shiva goes to Vaikuntha, his first trip. This is how the Vaishnavas face. And Shiva said, save me. Vishnu said, oh no, not again. Not that I told you to stay away from Asuras. Why do you keep attracting them? You are always attracting toxic people in your life. You should get over this. And then, all right, I will repair this problem of yours too. And then, what will I do? I will come dressed as Mohini. And then, if Asuras are Asuras, because they are easily distracted. Yes. Yes, there are, Asura is someone who is deeply distracted. And so right now he is running behind Maheshwara and chum. When dancer comes, ooh, can I marry you? And Vishnu dressed as this beautiful damsel says, I'm not that kind of a lady. I don't just go out on the first date. I don't get married on the first date. And besides, I come from a noble family. And we have to do certain pujas. We have to do certain things. We have to do certain mudras. So like this. So you should see the Bharatanatyam dancer depicting this. Fantastic. She goes like this. He says, okay. She says, whatever I do, you have to do. And then we go like this. He also goes like this. We go like this. He also goes like this. And then we take a turn. He also takes a turn. And then we go like this. Yeah. He says, oh, this is a date. This is the last one. Last one. So the Vishnu worshipper says, East or West, Vishnu is the best. And the Shiva worshipper is thinking, तुम्हारा भगवान क्या करता है? पूरा दिन सोते रहता है, कुछ भी नहीं करता है, just lying down, nothing, lying down, and all the time. And what is it? He has some kind of a arthritis or something. What is it? This is women's exploitation all the time, getting massage. What else? Doesn't even walk around at least, if he was a marathon runner, okay. You need to like massage, lying down all the time, and then getting massage also. What is it? This is what the Shiva worshippers think. And so each person has a superiority. And that superiority is tied to all these Purana, Hinda Purana, Vishnu Purana, all everything. If you go to any Shiva temple, you will find one Murti of Lord Shiva. You will see depicted as Linga, but he is depicted as Murti. Even in our Rishikesh, we have it behind the temple. It is called Lingodbhava. What is this Lingodbhava? It is told that Brahma and Vishnu were having a fight. Who is superior? And Shiva self-appointed himself to be the mediator of the fight. I will be the adjudicator, he says. And then he appeared as this big column of light, endless pillar of light. And he said to both of them, if you can find the origin of it, where it starts from, and how far down it goes, whoever does that first will be the more superior one. And then what happened? Vishnu took on Varaha avatar, a boar, which comes with a tusk like that. Digging. He went deep down. Still the column of light was there. This effulgent, radiant light was there endlessly. Deeper he dug, the light was there, then the boar got bored. That's why it's called bored. He got bored. And then Vishnu came up and washed Lord Shiva's feet and said, I surrender, I cannot do this. And meanwhile, Lord Brahma was looking at Vishnu surrender and said, no, I will just go and see. So he became a bird and flew, tried to see how far I can fly. He also got tired, the wings were tired, and then he also had to come down. But he told a lie. What did he say? He said that I saw the top of the column. Shiva knew it was a lie. And so two things happened. Brahmaji used to have 5 heads. One head fell off. So that's why one must never tell a lie. If you have 5 heads, you can afford to tell 4 lies. If you have only one head, वो भी गिर जाएगा. Difficult, yeah. So if you have one head, we better not get ahead of ourselves. Okay? We have to just be very, very cautious. These are all morals of the story. To tell children, why children? Even we need this story. We need the reminder to have Satya and Arjavam in our lives. We need reminder all the time. This is also one more reminder. So he lost the head, and then the story is that Shiva is using it as a Bhiksha Patra. He is using it as a plate. What is Bhiksha? Plate or a cup. I say like this. All these stories are just to show the non-ending nature of Bhagavan, that wherever you go, whatever you do is just Bhagavan alone. There is nothing other than Bhagavan, but still we take these stories to corroborate what is our God. My God is not as good as your God. That's why there will be so many temples. And in each temple, all the people who build the temple, they have to have all their devatas there. Otherwise, I'm not giving money. I have to have my God there, my person there. And so many stories are there in the United States. The temple is built, but then they will have two Vishnus. When I went to some temple, they asked me to help inaugurate this, so I went to this, what is that called? Kumbhabhishekam. And I said, why there are 2 Vishnus? Even one Vishnu is difficult to propitiate, and you are here having two Vishnus. They said, well, we have Vishnu made of black stone to satisfy the donors who are South Indian, and we have the smiling marble Vishnu to satisfy the North Indians. Like that, they have two Ganeshas. Yes. White Ganesha, black Ganesha. Yes. What is Ganesha? Neither black nor white. Okay. Yeah. Like this, they had, and then they had Shiva also, and they had Vishnu also, and then they never put, they were supposed to put a nice semicircular banner on the temple. Banner made of some nice granite stone carving, and they had paid the Stapati means sculptor, to do it. It was almost ready, but it was never ready for 18 months. Why did it take 18 months? It took 18 months because they could not agree whether to call it Shiva Vishnu temple or Vishnu Shiva temple. This is the problem. They kept fighting. And this is why, whose fault is it? Maya. Very good. Maya problem. This Maya even deludes the gods, deludes us to thinking that each god is different from one god, second god, third god, when all there is Bhagavan. And then even the so-called monotheistic religions are not any better. What will they say? There is only one God. Okay, no problem. Therefore, you must not worship another God. If there is only one God, how can I worship another God if there is no other God? This is very interesting. And then they will also say, you cannot have an image, you cannot worship an image. They don't know that we are not worshipping images. We are worshipping Bhagavan. The image is just an instrument for the worship. Because how are you going to worship without any? Even the so-called the monotheistic religions, they also have forms. They say Bhagavan is formless, but you have to face west while praying. Why? It's a form. You have to bow down in a certain way. That's a form. You have to bow down a certain number of times. That's a form. It's all beautiful if we have to understand it. And for the Christians, we have the cross. That's a form. It's a form of sacrifice. It's a form of Bhagavan. No Christian worships the cross. They are worshipping what it represents. Which is what we used to joke. Otherwise, they will be bowing down at every telephone pole, which is like this. We don't do that. Nobody is worshipping cross. Nobody is worshipping image. Nobody is worshipping idol. This idol worship is idol talk. That's all it is. It's useless. Because we are using this image to stand in for God. You are everywhere. How am I going to worship you everywhere? Therefore, I gather your energy in a particular form with a particular function. It's a very sophisticated understanding of Ishvara. In a particular form with a particular function, that which is everywhere all at once, I gather that energy and consecrate that energy so that I give it the power to bless me. I give Bhagavan the power to bless me. Why? Because I am not separate from Bhagavan. This is what our understanding is. So this Vidhi, Hari, Hara, very, very difficult to keep going like this. There will be no end to this. One more story? Pujya Swamiji's story? Yes. He used to tell the story that one devout Vishnu worshipper was doing Arghya, offering Surya Namaskar and offering river water to the sun. And then last time he did that, he found something. Fished it out. OMG, it was a beautiful idol of Vishnu. He was thrilled because he was a Vishnu worshipper. He said, fantastic, oh my God, I don't know how you have blessed me like this. And I am completely in total ananda. This was days before the cell phone, otherwise he would have called his wife immediately. So he said, I'm going to take this phone, we are going to install it and we are going to worship this. And then out of curiosity, he said, आगे देखिए पीछे कैसे लग रहे हैं भगवान पीछे देखा तो it is Shiva. And such a murti is called Hari Hara. Hari is side and when you look that side, Hara. And then he looked at the other side, where did you come from? And then he said, I'm going to throw it back into the water. But I don't like Shiva, it's my Vishnu. But he could not bring himself to throw it back into the water, so then again he sneaked a peek at the Vishnu side. How nice. Then he got an idea. He said, the side which I don't like, which is that side? Shiva, Hara side. We'll just put it against the wall. And we will only, my wife, my children and I will only look at the Vishnu side. And we will do all this puja, everything. So saying, he took the idol home, showed it to his wife, and she also had the same reaction as he. And then he said, don't worry, darling, we will put this stupid Shiva, this stupid punishment, let him keep looking at the wall. Put him against the wall, don't worry. Okay, ठीक है. Hurry up, make some prasad, make naivedya, and we do this worship. So he sat down to do the worship. She also brought all the big nice halwa. She brought fresh, hot. And then, they sat down there to do the worship. And then he has to ring the bell. Then he got it down. And ringing the bell for who? Vishnu. But that would be also this. It's not nice. So therefore, Vishnave Swaha. Natubhyam, not for you. Vishnave Namaha. Natubhyam Namaha. For you, no Namaha. See what is written here. Vishnu Sahasranama, not Shiva Sahasranama. Chanted everything. And then there will be time to do the what is that? Rupa. And he said, well, he will smell this wonderful Rupa from Shiva. Who is this Rupa from? Vishnu. By Vishnu. Thankfully, the cotton ball was still there. He made two more things and stuck things on poor Shiva. Look at it. And then did the Dhruva, Deepa, also everything. And then Naivedya also he did. Naivedya he did. And because already the nose was plugged, he didn't have to worry. For you, it's not for you. And then after that came Arati, Camphor Arati. He said, built a big Arati with lots of apartments. Beautiful thing. He said, but even if in the back, side vision is there, he can see this wonderful dazzling Arati that I am doing for my Vishnu, but not my Shiva can see. Therefore, what else is left to plug up? Eyes. So he just took one patti and tied the eyes. Of who? Shiva side. In Vishnu side, it was okay, and he did Arati, and then they just prostrated on the floor, and they woke up. The whole room is surrounded in brilliance. Lord Shiva appears. What? First he gets over this. He said, but, I didn't even worship you. What? What is this? What's happening? What's happening? And he says, well, you invoked me, therefore I am here. I didn't invoke you. In fact, I made every attempt not to. Well, said Lord Shiva, your non-invocation of me was stronger than your invocation. That's what it is. And if we are Vedantins, we know all that there is Bhagavan. This one God, two God, many God business we have to get over. All that is there is Bhagavan. And I am that Bhagavan. I am in the process of knowing that I am not separate from that Bhagavan. This is what has to be properly understood and internalized. So Vidhi we kept off to Thailand, and we already had a long discussion about Hari and Hara, Bheda Bhavan. So, Bheda Bhavan, what does it do? Akhande. Bada means ayo, oh no, alas. Arjuna says that in the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Aho bada mahat papam, tumyapasita vayam, yadrajya sukhalopena, swajanam mantru mudyata. This is what he says. Aho bada, he bada, oh bada means oh alas. Virajaya means virajya, having created these differences between the forms of Bhagavan we worship. Buddha-nabi, even the most scholars, prakamam means without any warning, forcibly. Definitely, but Buddha-nabi, mohayati, she calls it brahmayati. She deludes, she bewilders. She bewilders. How? Harihara, Bhava Vedan. She deludes by making all these Bhagavans into separate. Each one is separate. I am Krishna worshipper, I am better than you. I am Shiva worshipper, I am better than you. All these nonsensical things she creates, and then she doesn't create, she creates what? The separation she creates. And because of Atma Ajnanam, I buy into that separation. And as long as I am buying into any separation, I have anxiety. That's why it is called separation anxiety. That's what it is. Starts at age 2. Where is mommy? Where is mommy? And then does not go until one dies. And then one is born again in the same anxiety. Anxiety is an offshoot of Atma Ajnana. It is a child of Atma Ajnanam. Sorrow is an offshoot, another child of Atma Ajnanam. This is how Atma Ajnanam attacks. It uses sorrow, it uses anxiety to delude us. And so all these offshoots of Atma Ajnanam make one believe, I am small, I am not all, I am the cause. How can I be the cause? I am odd, how can I be God? This is what it is. So therefore, this delusion first we have to see how beautifully this Panchaka has talked about this delusion manifesting in all these areas of our lives. And it manifests in the first verse, what did he say? It manifests in the most general area of seeing every jiva as different, seeing Bhagavan as different from every jiva, seeing Bhagavan as different from me, and then seeing the Jagat as different from Bhagavan, seeing the Jagat as different from me. Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat. The individual, world and God. So that's a general difference which I take personally, and because of that I have fear, I have sorrow. And then the second one talked about the ahankara associated with studying the Shastra as a project. You cannot make Shastra into a project. You cannot make Shastra into a means for an end. Some kind of a end I have. What is the end? I want a PhD. And so I am going through all these Upanishads. Why are you going through the Upanishads? Because I want to find out how many times the word Isha is used. What a waste of time. This is what it is. Somebody's PhD was this only concordance of how many times these words are used. Keep counting. All the time counting. What is this? Ridiculous. And so, this kind of a scholarly approach to Vedanta, scholarly approach doesn't mean you're always going to be some kind of a university student or a professor. No. Scholarly approach means I'm going to get this. Retaining the ahankara, retaining the knower, you cannot get this knowledge. That is what we mean by scholarly approach. So the second verse has made it very, very clear that the scholarly approach is of absolutely no use, because this is one knowledge where there is no Veda, no difference between Pramata and Prameya, between the knower and the known. Who is the knower? I. What is to be known? I. I am the knower, I am to be known. How are you going to say there is still a knower there? Where is the knower? There is no knower. The knower is falsified in the wake of which knowledge? That is what we are talking about. And this knowledge doesn't have a knower. So beautiful knowledge which does not have a knower. And I told you already, if somebody says, I have Atma Jnana, back off slowly. Okay, yeah. And if I say, I'll be your teacher, just say, keep the knowledge with yourself. Do not give it to me. This is what it is. So, how is this knowledge gained? That also you have to see. It is gained through somebody else who has dropped their ignorance because of her teacher, who went to his teacher, who went to her teacher, all the way to Sadashiva. Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmatacharya Paryantam, Vande Paramparam. I worship the entire lineage, starting with Lord Shiva. No, I am a Vaishnavite. We have another prayer for that. Yeah. We have another prayer. Narayanam Padma Bhuvam Vasishtvam Shaktincha Putra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukam Gaurava Padam Mahantam. We have that lineage also, no problem. Every lineage is worship worthy because it has given us this knowledge, the sacrifice of so many Mahatmas. And these are not Mahatmas who are famous and who wrote books. The unsung, unheard of Mahatmas have also done their part. Maybe even a greater part in forwarding this parampara to us, in forwarding this knowledge to us freely. And they didn't have to do this. Once they gained the knowledge, they could have done so many things. But they did this out of compassion, total compassion. That is what the teacher is. And the Viveka Chudamani says that the Gurus, these Mahatmas, who are silently walking the earth, not advertising, I am the knower of self-knowledge, no advertisement at all. They are blessing the people through this knowledge. Vasantavat yokahitam charantaha. They are helping the people just like the spring season helps by turning the earth into a riot of color. After a long winter, you suddenly have color everywhere. It's not so much evident in tropical climate, but in other northern climates we can see. In northern Europe, Canada and all, we can see. After snow and winter, then suddenly all the colors come out. Does the spring charge a fee? If you want to enjoy the colors, you please deposit money here. No. It doesn't freely, it gives. And Vasantavat, like even the spring season, these teachers, these gurus, they bless the whole universe just by their presence, by their teaching. Tirnaha Swayam, they themselves have crossed over the notion of sorrow. We can't call it the ocean any longer. They have crossed over the notion of sorrow. Tirnaha Swayam. Ahetuna Anyanapi Tarayantaha. Without any reason, they help others also cross. And so that is the real learning, not just some bookish learning of the Vedas. You can't get anything from a book because it is pramana based. It is based on the words of the Shastra, the words which the teacher activates into a means of knowledge. And the words of the Shastra which the teacher amplifies and activates hit the heart, which is surrounded by the stone walls. The words are like the flowers that open and let the heart blossom. This is what is called Brahmakara Vritti. When the teacher talks about Brahman, that kind of a thought floods the mind. I am one. Oh my God. I am whole. Oh my God. I see him. I'm limitless. I don't need to be anxious. I don't need to micromanage. I don't need to control anybody or anything. I don't need to be hard on myself. You have an aha moment in the class. That is Akhandakara Vritti. That is Brahmakara Vritti. It is the thought of oneself as one with everything that one seeks, flooding the mind. The thought is kshanika. The vritti dies away, leaving in its wake what? That oneness is already there. This is how the knowledge takes place, not by reading some books, not by putting a board in front of the door. I have Brahman knowledge. Nothing happens as a result. Okay. Then the third verse somebody, what does it say? The third verse says, having created all the five elements. The five elements were created, and then this body is also what? Product of five elements. Body also is born of five elements. The five elements are created by Bhagavan along with Mother Bhagavati. That's what it is. Atma alone has as though protected the five elements. And then Maya takes the credit for it, and Maya says each thing is now different from another thing. Your body is also part of the five elements. Definitely. All the water element we can see, all the blood and all the fluids in the body, water element. And then earth element are the donal structure, the bones are the earth element. What else is there? Fire. Fire is what? Yeah, temperature. 98.6. That is what is called, that is why Agni is called Jata Vedaha. Jate Jate Vidyate. Jata Vedaha. As soon as one is born, it is known. Yeah. As soon as one is born, it is known. And then, so Jata Vedaha, Agni, fire. Fire is also in another form, hunger. That is also fire. Fire is in the form of hunger. Vaishvanara. That is another kind of fire. And then air. Where is the air? Lungs. Air is in the lungs. Sometimes air is in the head. That's why we say airhead from the airheaded. Air is the space, finally, definitely in the head. Okay, that's why one says I'm spaced out. Yeah. Space is there between the joints in the bones. Space is there. Space is there in the stomach as lunchtime comes. Space is there. All the five elements have done. Maya has with her knowledge, with her jnana shakti, ichha shakti, kriya shakti, created this body, but also cast a spell on us to take it as me. This alone I am. I'm not able to see that I am that consciousness that is in all bodies. This is what is the antidote for the third verse. And in the fourth verse we saw how that consciousness, which is free of all guna, all qualities, all forms, all names, in that there is all these things, mine, not mine, yours, but soon will be mine. All these ahamkaras, all these identification with house, with the dog, with what else? Spouse, with child, with everything, so many things. Sometimes even with notions. One is unable to let go of notions. These are my notions. These are my beliefs. Like what is that? Like certain things. I am this one. I am that one. I believe in this. And even in politics, somebody says I'm left wing, I'm right wing. Are you the wing? No, I'm not the wing. I am that consciousness which is not having any wings. This is what we have to absolutely understand thanks to the fourth verse. And then the fifth verse talks about how Maya, not contented with what? Not contented with being causing so much differences, causes her mischief, and even as though makes even various forms of Bhagavan fight with one another, and makes us fight with each other because of whom we worship. And so therefore, what do we need to get rid of? Maya. Well, just now. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your hospitality. Thank you very much for inviting me here. Thank you very much for your close attention and attendance. I feel so blessed to have spent these days with all of you. Thank you. Om Tat Sat. Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. So we take a few questions. Any questions?
Is there a significance to the orange color that you wear?
What is the significance of the orange color? Free food? No. No, that was a joke. Orange is the color of the rising sun. So it is to tell ourselves that we are committed to the rising of the knowledge in the heart. That is basically what it is. You want to say something? No, orange color.
Fire instead of fire. Fire burns ignorance.
Yeah, that's the color. Orange is the color of fire, and the fire is burns the ignorance. If you don't burn the ignorance, you get burnt. So better burn the ignorance. Okay? Yeah. Next. Next question. Yes.
So just like in the second verse, an easy path to just getting the knowledge of Vedanta and making it pedagogical. So how do we keep ourselves in check? It's just self-checking. How we are not building that kind of knowledge and
Yeah.
assimilating.
Yes. How to make sure we are assimilating the knowledge and not just memorizing the verses. Of course, the easy answer is don't memorize the verses, but I will not say that. Yeah. Memorize the verses, feel happy about your memory, chant the Bhagavad Gita, feel happy about the chanting, but at the same time, be more committed to the content rather than the fact. What is it trying to say? How is it affecting me? How is it transforming me? You can just keep remembering that. And the very effective way to do this is actually Adi Shankara gives us this way, very beautiful teaching. See, when we wake up, especially on work days, how do we wake up? The answer is badly. Yes. We wake up very, very badly. We teach the children, do karage, vasate, lakshmi. We are not doing it ourselves. Yeah, we just tell the children, do it. And we are not doing it ourselves. We wake up badly. We wake up how? Oh my God! What day is it? Saturday. Okay, half an hour. Yeah. And if it is not Saturday, oh my God! And like, what's the next thought? What do I have to do? Oh my God! Am I late? Look at the alarm clock. Jump out of bed. And this way, the knowledge. There is a big kind of dissonance between oneself and the teaching. There has to be a consonance, a harmony between oneself and the teachings, and this kind of a dissonance doesn't do any service, it does you a disservice. So Adi Shankara says, when the eyes first open, even before the thought comes, flood the thought with Brahman thought, flood the mind with I am Bhagavan. Instead of saying, who am I, where am I going, what is my job? No, those are all small, finite identities. So you look for the infinite and the infinite as yourself. This is what is called Brahma-dhyasa. It is early morning Vidhi-dhyasana that takes only 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And if you tell me I can't spare 3 minutes, then I will tell you you are not telling me the truth, because everybody can spare 3 minutes in the morning. So for every minute he has a verse. Prata smarami Riddhi Samspurat Atma. I am this Satchidananda Atma, that is the first thing smarami I recall. I recall when the dawn is very grey. In the grey dawn, I recall the truth of myself as Atma. And what is this Atma? I am Atma. What is this Atma? Satchit Sukham. Paramahamsa Gatim Turiyam. This Atma is Satchidananda. I am this Satchidananda, sought after by the greatest of Mahatmas, which is the goal of Paramahamsa, which is the Gati, the goal of all greatest of Mahatmas. The most exalted of saints have become that by pursuing this and internalizing this only. And then what is? That Swapna Jagara Sushuptam Avaiti Nityam, that which knows all the states, which is free of all the states. It knows Swapna, it knows the waking state, it knows the sleep state, it knows all the states. And this is good to immediately emerging from dream sleep state, it is very good to recall this, very good to understand this. You are just bringing it to mind. It is early morning with the nididhyasana. And then what do you say? Tat Brahma Nishkalamaham. That Brahma, this Atma, in Atma Tattva, in the first line has now converted to what? Brahma. This Brahman I am, Nishkalam, free of parts, no past, no present, free of space, free of time, free of parts. Tat Brahma Nishkalamaham, Raja Bhuta Sangraha, not this assemblage of body, mind, sense complex which is constantly complaining. Jiva is just full of peace. Men should be changed to Siva. That's all it is. Full of complaints all the time. That's all. This Jivatvam is an as-though superimposition upon this mind. You should learn to chant this. You know, okay, it's fantastic. We chant it now?
Yes.
We just chant the first stanza. Then we can go to another question. Om Ratasmaya Vivisam Spuragavatvam Sajit Sukham Paramaham Sakatim Turiyam Yasapna Jala Sushuptamavaiti Nityam Tad Brahma Nishkalamaham Nacha Bhuta Sanghaha. How long it took to chant? 3 minutes. Not even. Not even 3 minutes. Chant this with the meaning. Don't think of where to go. All that will be waiting for you. Even if you're late, it's worth it. Really. Chant this first thing in the morning. Then you say, okay, who am I? Okay, I am this employee, I am mother, I am father, I am son, I am daughter. Afterwards, let those identities come. First, be completely, firmly stabilized in this life. This is what is called, otherwise it is called Viparita Bhavana. I take myself to be what I do, I take myself to be what I am, I take myself to be the mind. Okay, I can memorize, I can chant, I have studied Vedanta. No. I have to let, I am even not studying Vedanta. I have to let Vedanta study me. I am not taking to a life of Vedanta. Vedanta is taking me. This is what the attitude should be. I am not learning Vedanta. Vedanta is catching me. I have to be caught by Vedanta. That is what the Pramana is. You have to be caught by the Pramana. You are not the catcher, killer, eater. You are not. Next question. Okay, written down. All right. Thank you. Could you please reiterate in a few words how us as Shishyas strengthen the reverence to the Guru? Yes. Strengthening of the reverence happens through action. But because you cannot say I have reverence in my heart, that's enough. No? See, any relationship is based on forms, action. Like for example, let's say one is married, you are married, and then the spouse's birthday comes. Okay? And what do you say? I have a lot of love for you in my heart. Alright? And then what does the spouse say? Gift kidhar hai? No gift. Actually, you forgot to bring. Okay? But you say, I have a lot of love for you in my heart. बहुत प्यार है किधर दिल में. Are you Hanuman ji? Because when Hanuman ji opens his heart, Sita are sitting there. But you can't show that. No? You can't do open heart surgery to show that the spouse is sitting there. So what do you say? You are in my heart. That is why I didn't get you a gift. No gift. Okay, at least a card. No card. No card, no gift. And no flower. Yeah. Not even a flower. No flower. No card, no gift, No flower, kuch bhi nahi hai. Not even happy birthday, just you are in my heart. You know, unless the other person is also Vedantin, this is not going to fly. This is not going to fly. So, we go through the effort. Even for a simple happy birthday, you buy a card, even though you know they're going to read it in 2 minutes and it's going to be thrown away. You buy a gift, you wrap the gift, and then you have your friend put the finger on it, you could make a nice bow, and then you wait for them to tear it open happily. It is a ritual. Love is enacted, and Guru Bhakti is also love. That is what Narada Bhakti Sutra said. What is Bhakti? Parama Swarupa, Prema. It is Prema, and unconditional love is reverence. Bhakti is love. So love, we cannot not show the love. And showing the love is in many ways. You can say, I love you, but that's also okay. But towards the teacher, show the love through actions. And sometimes Guru Seva is what? Guru Kula Seva. Seva to the ashram. Seva to other things which are needing to be taken care of. That is all Guru Seva only. It cannot be any other thing. It is all Guru Seva. And so, Seva is a very important expression of Bhakti. And so, that is how you strengthen the reverence by acting out the reverence. Now you strengthen the reverence. Very good question. And there is one more question. Let us see that here. Enacting the reverence increases the reverence also. I want to cultivate compassion and appreciation. Again, the same answer to both the questions. How do I become compassionate? By acting compassionately, no other thing. By acting compassionately, I become compassionate. Again, you cannot say, I have compassion in my heart, but right now I'm mad at you. Act compassion. Engage in acts of compassion. Compassion is another name of love. Bhakti is when it is directed towards Bhagavan, Guru, etc. Compassion when it is directed towards the Jagat, towards one's fellow beings, towards ones that are less fortunate than us. All this is compassion, and this compassion is enacted. Otherwise, it is not compassion. This Ananda, Satvijit Ananda, that the dynamic form of Ananda is love and compassion. That Ananda is you. So how you act matters. But right now I'm not feeling compassionate. Don't tell me to act compassionately. Inside, the water is boiling inside the head, and you are asking me to act compassionately. How should I do this? So this one which is famous.
Fake it and make it.
And make it. But I don't want to fake it. But you are not faking it. But you just told me fake it. As though fake it. Because you are real. Your Swarupa is compassion. You are not faking it. In fact, anger is faking it. Okay? Anger, resentment, fear, and jealousy, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, vatsarya, that is faking. That is faking. This is actually making. But we have become so attached to the inauthentic expression of ourselves. We don't even know what is the authentic I. You are that compassionate person. So smile even with gritted teeth. I don't feel like smiling, but I'm smiling. You're angry, you want to kick them. Make it into a dance mudra instead. Yes. Convert it into a dance mudra and neutralize that by knowing this. This is what is Shama Dama, all that comes in. So this is how we can see. And then when we grow from reactivity, being a reactive person to a responsive person, I have already made. Reactive person, I'm not looking at anybody's background. Responsive person, it's a two-step response. I can see that you are hurt. I am hurt, yes, but I can see that you are also angry and you are also hurt. Let's take a break. Let's discuss this tomorrow. And you can say that. You can say that. And then you know what else you can say? If you're in family, you can tell your family, please let me know when I'm about to get angry. They will oblige. Yes, they will oblige. But then when they tell you, yes, your nostrils are flaring and you are having that wild look, you are about to get angry. If they tell you, then you should not get angry at them. And you can tell the same thing to them. I will tell you when you are about to get angry. You can tell me when you are about to get angry. You can tell me when I am about to get angry. And then we decide to table the issue. No, not right now. We are not going to discuss this. Let us discuss this later, not right now. No, but still there are lots of differences, disagreement, hatred, resentment, jealousy, and blaming, and this person did this, that person did that. You know, when I was studying, if anybody, two brahmacharis went and complained to Swamiji, Swamiji would make the person who complained give a flower to the other person. I don't even want to look at you and you're telling me, give him a flower? Give her a flower? Yes. I don't want to look at them. Doesn't matter, don't look at them, you like it. And in your mind, tell you, idiot, you don't even deserve this. But our guru told me to give the flower, then you are giving the flower. You throw the flower. First 2 days you throw the flower. Then you just hold on and yeah. And then 4th day you say, let's see what's the expression on your smug expression on your face. Let me see how smug and entitled you look to receive this flower. And I'm being made to give you this flower. You give the flower, eyes meet, both of you laugh, it's all over. Swamiji says to otherwise you have to do it for 48 days. That is one mandala. But usually it doesn't take that. You do 4 days, all that is gone. All that is gone. Many people used to do it. Make people give the flower. And people in Coimbatore, in Alikatti, various flower seller, they are far away. So the people who are told to give the flower, they would go to the temple. And the temple priest would say, who did you fight with? Even if you something around your otherwise, why is this person asking for flower? Please give me one, even you flower, please give me one. So, this is how it is. Whatever you want to be, you enact that. In the enactment, it really comes up. You become what you enact. Brahmara, there is an expression there. That expression comes from the wasp. What does the wasp do? It takes a worm into its little nest. And you see it biting the worm, stinging the worm repeatedly. Actually, it's not stinging. It's using the live body of the worm to lay the eggs. That's what's very clever. And then the worm dies at some point, the eggs are fine, and when the eggs hatch into baby wasps, and then the wasp comes out of the nest. What goes in is the worm, what comes out is the wasp. So the idea is, if you keep acting like the wasp, you become the wasp. Don't start stinging people, that's just the example. Yad bhavitam, tad bhavati. Whatever you want, whatever you desire, you become. Thoughts have power. Thought is Ichha Shakti. It is Bhagavati's gift. It is the gift of the goddess. Thoughts have power. So when we think the best of ourselves and others, the best only happens. Next. Yes.
Is childhood trauma unavoidable?
Is travel a problem?
No, childhood
Childhood trauma, yes.
unavoidable.
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 Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. Is childhood trauma unavoidable? Yes, I mean, when you are a child, what can you avoid? Really, you are helpless. You are dependent upon the caregivers who are not acting in responsible ways, who are not doing right by this child, who are not doing right by you. So in that sense, it is unavoidable. But then every child learns a coping mechanism, and then it is avoidable in the long run because you overcome the deficits of the childhood trauma. You learn to forgive yourself. You learn to forgive the elders. You learn to forgive, all that by going into the unconscious mind. Everything helps. Therapy, yoga, any other forms of self-love, all that helps. And then what happens is that you are who you are because of the trauma. You are who you are in spite of the trauma. You are able to find the Satchidananda self. And sometimes the trauma actually makes you into a much more compassionate person. The trauma has, when you take the trauma as Bhagavat Prasad, as a prasad from Bhagavan, it shows you the way. It shows you the way. And it gives you certain sensitivities which other people who have not undergone the trauma doesn't have. They don't have that, but you have. You have the ability. You have the sensitivity to read the room. You have the ability to be compassionate because you know that what it is like to be on the other side. The shoe is on the other foot of not being compassionate, how it is. You know that. So there are also a lot of gifts. But karmically speaking, it is unavoidable because this is karma. This is unfortunately not just karma, it is also the abuse of the free will on part of the caregivers who abuse the child. And so it is not just karma, it is also the abuse of free will. It's usually a mixture of the two. Yeah. Other questions? Yes?
So, Niji, my question is that before Vedanta, normally we used to blame others for whatever we were feeling.
Yes.
Right? After Vedanta, what happens? Everything shifts on us. So now we get that whatever triggers us, we know it's within us.
Yes.
So now there's one part where we can work on ourselves. So there's a continuous work in progress, right? But there are parts of us, despite trying, it doesn't happen. We see ourselves continuously in the same loop. So how do we make peace with that part?
Yes, yes. Actually, Vedanta begins when we stop blaming others and blaming ourselves. Yeah. That is Vedanta. That is when spirituality begins. You stop blaming yourself, you stop blaming others also. Then what happens? Then you get to the place like everything, the hooks are within me, but within me is not Satchidananda me, it's the Ahankara me, it's the body, mind, sense, complex me. And so, certain things come off very easily. Like if you have been playing in the mud and then you wash your hands, very quickly what happens? The surface level things come off. But then there is a deeper level, it's a more chronic thing, takes some time. So, for that you need some soap. What is the soap? Hari Nama Japa. That is the soap. We need Japa. We need Nididhyasana. We need perhaps more Shravanam. All this is the soap. We need soap to make the dirt which is more closely sticking. And then you find it is still not going, you take one stone and scrub the hand with a stone or something little harder. And then that is again the form of various, karma yoga, seva, all these things you do. Still there is a faint thing left after every kind of washing has been done. You trust it will go away in time. In time it has to go. You don't identify it. Some chronic issues are there, let it be there. Everybody has a quirk. Everybody is a weirdo. Really speaking, we are all weird. Okay? We may not think that, but there are many people outside who think that. And who will give the opportunity, they will tell us that also you are really weird. And you're getting weirder and weirder every day. Ever since you started studying Vedanta, they will inform you that as well. So that's not a surprise. But just like I'm not identifying with all these, I am a scholar, I am this, I am that, I'm also not identifying with the weirdness. Then the weirdness becomes what? Ishvara Srishti. I'm not owning it up as mine. My shortcoming, I'm not owning it up as. If it's Ishvara Srishti, let Ishvara do whatever she wants to do with it. The story that is told is of the two pots, that is balanced domestic with ropes. This man is carrying the two pots up a small hill where there is a Shiva temple, and 2 pots of water is what is used for Abhishek. One of them, let's say this is a time where the pots had human mind. One of them is very guilty. One of them secretly, just between us, is a crackpot. Has a small crack, small crack is there. And then it is feeling very bad because by the time the fellow comes up the hill, half the water is gone and it feels, I am not doing a good job. By the time I come, only half of the water I am giving. I am not a real Abhisheka pot. It has a complex. And then one day it is crying itself to sleep. And then Lord Shiva comes in the dream and says, let's take a walk. Why are you feeling so bad? Because I'm cheating you of half a pot of water. I'm a great cheat. I'm cheating you. How are you cheating me? Because I have a hole. Water is dripping away. Let's take a walk. Come with me. And he takes. You come, look on the right side. Lots of wildflowers have grown on the way to the hill. Which side are you? Oh, I'm always carried on the right side. Look at this pathway. So you are not only worshipping Ishvara differently. You are not only giving Abhisheka water to Ishvara, you are helping the flowers grow so that the hearts of the devotees are happy and lightened. So there is more flowers for the Lord. See, in all ways you are worshipping me. That is what it is. So even if there is a flaw within us, whether the flaw is mental, psychological, emotional, or physical, it doesn't matter. If we are able to objectify that flaw and see it as an expression of Bhagavan, then it becomes a vibhuti. It becomes a glory. It becomes not my glory, Ishvara's glory. Ishvara gave this, let it be there. That cannot be the excuse if you don't want to get up to go to work tomorrow. Yeah, Ishvara made me lazy. Go there. No. You do what you have to do. But we are talking about chronic situations, which are not going or which are difficult, which seem impossible to come out from under. You just offer it back to Bhagavan. You say, you gave it. What were you thinking? You gave me this kind of a life. Take it. You take it. Give it back to him. You be safe and you be disidentified from that. Other questions? Yes.
One more. Being misunderstood. Sometimes you say something,
Yeah.
but the person hears or understands.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
How can we not be misunderstood?
We cannot not be misunderstood. We will be misunderstood regularly. Because they are coming from their own background. I have my own background, whatever I say, and they are coming from their own background. Generally, it is not a problem. Then you can say, I think that's not what I meant. Then you can express yourself again. It becomes a problem when there is a history of being misunderstood in the karmic past, in one's own past, and therefore to be misunderstood makes one upset, makes one sad, makes one lonely, makes one angry. So first we have to cut those ties. I'm simply not being understood. That's all it is. There is no need to freak out. There is no need to be angry.
There is no need to be upset. There is no reason at all. This is what we have to first understand. Take a few deep breaths and explain again. And if they still don't understand, question the next thing. Why is it that I want to convince them? What do I want from this conviction? What do I want from this convincing? Do I want them to validate me? Do I want them to listen to me? Do I want to feel listened? Do I want to feel gratified? Do I want to feel validated? What is it that I want? And then you fulfill that want, not by trying to be understood. So if you are not understood, have long conversations. If you feel ununderstood or misunderstood, have long sessions with Bhagavan. You can tell Bhagavan anything you want. Bhagavan will not misunderstand. Will keep smiling and giving a fearless mudra. Don't fear, I am here. That is the kind of therapy. And it is free. Yes. And you don't have to get up in 50 minutes and call it 1 hour. Yeah, you stay there for as long as you want. Half a day you can sit in front of Bhagavan and complain all you want. And say, I'm not understood, nobody loves me, nobody cares, even you don't seem to care. Bhagavan will listen to that also. Without judgment. And for us, it is not blasphemy. It is a form of prayer. It's a form of prayer. We can pray in different ways. Another question?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
How can prayer be an antidote to our sins, our mistakes?
Prayer is an antidote to all of our mistakes. Because prayer is an action, correct? Yeah. And the mistake was also an action. So this action is neutralizing that action. It's just like a flu shot. Yeah. Exactly. It's like a flu shot. You are inoculated against the adrishta, or adrishta means the invisible results of yet the karma that is to be fructified. That is to come, it's neither gone away or mitigated by this karma. That karma which I did in my previous life, I don't know what I did, when I did, how I did. But that karma can come in the form of adrishta. Adrishta means unseen, unknown. It can attack me. So therefore, I take a, what should I say, karmic shot, not flu shot, karma shot. And what is the karma shot? I inoculate myself against that effect. I neutralize that effect because this prayer is good karma. Why is prayer good karma? Because when I am praying, I am not robbing a bank or thinking of robbing a bank. Okay? So prayer is good karma. I am one with Bhagavan. So this good karma neutralizes the effect of that good karma, that bad karma, and therefore it is like a flu shot, exactly like the flu shot. You build antibodies towards Papa, doesn't come out. Or even if it comes out, it becomes like, they will say, the flu shot doesn't guarantee you won't get the flu, but if you get the flu, it will be very mild. So similarly, the prayer doesn't guarantee that the adrishta won't come out, but if and when it comes out, it will be of the mild prarabdha variety. There are some questions on that. There was one here, yes?
In the first few days, we mentioned that we need to have healthy boundaries.
Yes.
How is that healthy boundary different from just putting a boundary?
Yeah. Unhealthy boundary means this is where I live, you cannot come here ever, you cannot do this. Like inflexibility, which we talked about today. That would be unhealthy for yourself and others. Healthy boundary means they are permeable. For the sake of the health, everybody's physical health, mental health, we need to know where I end and where the other person begins. Because other person's feelings are my feelings, and if other person's actions are my actions, it's causes confusion. But because of past trauma and past upbringing, that's how some people are. Some people cannot be with in a crowd because they take on everybody's problems and they say, oh my God, I'm so stressed, they have taken on everybody's stress. That's why we need healthy boundaries. We We need healthy boundaries which are permeable, but we should know what is it that constitutes me. Oh, just now you said I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the senses. Yes, but we have to live in the Vyavaharika world. We have to live in the everyday world. So in the everyday world, where is it that I am? Where is it that you begin? I love you, I respect you, but I am not you. You are not me. We have to be, in that we have to remember. So that we don't take on other people's problems, other people's burdens, other people's feelings. We don't need that. That is what is meant by healthy boundaries. Firmly understanding and being in what we are, who we are. In the empirical world. Otherwise, everybody is Satchidananda, there is no boundaries. To understand that there is no boundaries, one more paradox in Vedanta is that we have to have healthy boundaries. Yes.
I have one question.
Yes.
By now, it's very clear that we are all actors in the game.
Yes.
How do we choose the level of acting? For example, in the corporate world, for example, you're expected to provide an Oscar-winning acting.
Yeah.
While deep inside, maybe you want to act like a third-grade actor.
Yes.
So how do we get to choose that level of acting?
That's a very good question. Yes. We give your best. But again, the best has to have healthy boundaries. In giving your best, you don't get exploited. Yeah, you do your best. And sometimes the best, in the beginning you think this is only my best. I can't do anything more than that. But slowly that also grows. When there is space in the heart, what one's best is also changing all the time. You grow along with that. You grow along with that. In the beginning, the best may be only this much. Later on, the best is this much. Later on, it's, as big as the earth. And so as we grow emotionally, spiritually, what we can give also grows. So we allow that growth, but with healthy boundaries. We see that this body, mind, sense complex is also what Bhagavan. The indweller is Bhagavan. So I don't exploit the body. I don't exploit the overuse the body, the mind. I respect the body. I respect the mind. I respect the healthy boundaries. This is what I have to do. Some other questions were there here. Deepa, you had a question? Yes.
It's not a question, maybe a request.
Yes.
Back when I was in the 6-month course in Rishikesh, one day we were having a conversation when we were walking to the temple of Buddha class.
Yes.
I was telling you, in fact, it's sometimes difficult for me to accept my reactions.
Yes.
And then you said one thing which changed my life completely. You said, can you accept your non-acceptance?
Yes.
If you could share this, I keep telling you.
Yes. That is a good one. Unfortunately, Swamiji, I can't take credit for anything. So, in Vedanta, we keep talking about acceptance, 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 acceptance. And sometimes we cannot accept. Let us be frank and truthful, okay? Many things we cannot accept. Correct? Starting with what? One's own body we cannot accept, one's own mind we cannot accept, one's own spouse we cannot accept. Yeah. One's own child we cannot accept. That's why the parents keep wondering, did some exchange take place in the hospital? Now, how did this? Don't worry, the child is also wondering, am I adopted? How did I come here? So Vedanta is saying yes. No is a healthy no, okay. But everything else beyond the healthy no in life is an unhealthy no. Vedanta is converting that no into yes. It's a process. I say yes. Then, when I want to say no, I say yes. This is again not for exploitative situations. There you have to say no. But we are talking of generally as we grow. As we grow to Svatma Bhava, we learn to say yes. If you look at the life of just want to leave them, we will never see them say no. Ask them. Don't just go by my words. Swamiji, can you please do this? Yes. Can you please do this? Okay. I know you're very busy, Swamiji. Can you please come here and do this? Okay. Yes. 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 But that is not easy. That is an expression of a Mahatma who has this knowledge, who has deeply internalized this knowledge. For the rest of us, what do we have to do? We consciously convert every no into yes. And at the same time, understand number one. Number two, we understand that there are many things that no will not budge. It's sitting like this. No, I'm not going anywhere. That no is non-acceptance. What do we do to that? Can you accept the non-acceptance? No, I can't accept the non-acceptance. Can you accept the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance? No, I can't accept the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance. Can you accept the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance? Yeah, just to get rid of you, I will say. I will accept the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance. Kaam khatam, ho gaya, finished. Because really speaking, there is only one non-acceptance. But when you accept that I cannot accept, you are already in acceptance. The non-acceptance has been Ishvarized. You have Ishvarized your non-acceptance by accepting your non-acceptance. All that is here is Ishvara, and that includes my non-acceptance. Hey Bhagavan, why did you have to manifest in this way? But okay, I accept you. I accept my non-acceptance. If I can't accept non-acceptance, what do? I accept the non-acceptance of my non-acceptance. If I can't accept the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance, then we'll be here all the time. So somewhere we have to stop. And that is the idea. All Pujya Swamiji, his words, his thoughts, we are all just copycats. All three of us are shameless copycats. Yes. Shameless copycats, plagiarists, without giving any credit. We just say his words, we say his thoughts, and get by. That is what it is. Any other questions?
There's one thing, something.
Yes.
Just wondering, accept non-acceptance. Like, are we being sincere to ourselves?
What do you mean sincere? How can we insincerely accept the non-acceptance statement?
The reaction, how is the reaction?
Oh, see, it's just the question of, it's not about since, yeah, we could be deluding ourselves and say, yes, we have accepted. Yeah, that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about making the non-acceptance into Ishvara Srishti, objective rather than my own Srishti subject. If I take charge and hug this non-acceptance, it's my non-acceptance, there will be so many problems that even if we sit for 10 more days, we will not be able to list them all. Endless problems will come. So the non-acceptance, where did it come from? Ishvara. Yeah. Then you ask him, why are you giving me? You take that back. Give it to me. Take it back. When you say take it back, you are accepting that it is there. You are accepting that it is Ishvara Srishti. You are washing your hands of personalizing the non-acceptance. You depersonalize the non-acceptance. Acceptance means you Ishvarize the non-acceptance. Yeah, that is what it is. After the festival, shall we have a group photo? Yes.
Or does I have to?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. One more question. So no problem. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Come in front because I have problems there, so much traffic everywhere.
observing people and families.
Yes.
I can sometimes see that doing for others is the idea for others, but
Correct. Correct.
how do you help that?
That is again because of what you asked, a wonderful question you asked 2 questions ago, we have that one. Because sometimes we put ourselves last, not as a act of compassion, that's different. We put ourselves last because we feel we are undeserving. That is because of that. It's easier to cook for others. It's easier to clean for others. It's easier to take care of others. But self-care becomes a very important, self-care is very important in Vedanta. Because that self is the self of everything, that's what it is. So self-care you have to make you, if you don't remember, thankfully we have those things, what do we call it, mobile phones we have. And then you can set them to ding ding, take a bill, ding ding, do something nice for yourself, ding ding, have cake. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself, even possibly, you have to take care of yourself. Nobody will not expect other people to take care of you, you take care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself, something inside gets unlocked. Something inside gets unlocked. Because this could be a family pattern. In the family, everybody is just sacrificing. You also learn that. And in Indian families, it's very common. You put yourself last. We all come from such families only. We all had to learn how to take care of ourselves. We had to learn. Because otherwise, what is there to study? This is moksha arikalam, this body mind sense complex is the vehicle for moksha. So therefore it has to be cared for. And also it's a healthy habit to take care of ourselves because we are responsible and we are well adjusted when we take care of ourselves. Okay? Is that clear? Any questions? Okay. Yes, also, yes. Speak English.